Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Monday, January 9th, 2017. So looking at observed precipitation over the past 7 days and the past 30 days, you can see from this image on the left, there's been a fair amount of precipitation across the area over the past week. Really, it's just far southern Nevada and southern southeastern Utah that haven't seen as significant of precipitation. And if we look further back at the 30-day period, it really has been quite wet over the past 30 days with some significant precipitation over the higher elevations of the Great Basin. Just comparing this to normal, this image on the left shows where we stand as far as percent of average precipitation over the past 30 days. And you can see we're doing quite well across the Great Basin. Really the only areas that are below average are these small pockets in southwestern Nevada and southeastern Utah. Satellite today shows a couple of disturbances in the area. There's one rotating into Southern California and another further north, and these will impact the weather across the area over the next 7 days. So for today, there's quite a bit of moisture across the northern part of the Great Basin. And as far as mixing goes, it looks like really the only areas that'll have any decent mixing will be across southern and western Nevada. This is due to the stronger transport winds and better mixing heights across southern and western Nevada. Looking at Tuesday, we still have quite a bit of moisture across the area. And again, Nevada will see the best mixing on Tuesday, as well as portions of southern Utah. And again, this is because there are the highest transport winds in these areas on Tuesday. Moving into Wednesday, the moisture begins to shift to the east. We could start to see the potential for some better clearing indices across portions of Utah moving into Wednesday. And again, on Wednesday, we'll start to see those transport winds pick up and some better mixing heights. Looking at the 3-day Utah Forecast Clearing Index from the National Weather Service, we see a similar trend with that improving mixing from Tuesday into Wednesday. The 3-day precipitation accumulation amounts are quite impressive. You can see this forecast of in excess of 4 inches across the mountains of Utah. Quite a bit of precipitation as well along the Sierra Nevada. Really, the entire Great Basin will see precipitation over the next 3 days with the greatest precipitation totals across the north. Moving into Thursday, we begin to see that second weather system drop south into the Great Basin. And again, on Thursday, the best mixing will be across southern Nevada. Moving into Friday, the picture remains fairly similar with the best mixing across the south, pretty poor mixing across the remainder of the Great Basin. And that will decrease, that mixing will decrease moving into Saturday as we see some colder air moving into the area from the north. And that continues into Sunday with really poor mixing across the entire Great Basin on Sunday as we have that cold, stable air make its way into the Great Basin. Looking at precipitation accumulation in the 4 to 5 day period, looks like we dry out a bit without too much precipitation in the forecast in that time period. Finally, looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for above normal temperatures across much of the area in that 8 to 14 day period, with above normal precipitation across the entire Great Basin. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. You can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.